Yale, a prestigious university, recently ranked the third best university in the country. But if you look a little past Yale, you see New Haven, a city known for its poverty, homelessness, and violence. There's clearly a line of division between Yale and New Haven. For example, some people have argued that Yale has been getting away with paying property taxes, and Yale therefore owes New Haven money. However, Yale would probably argue that they have done much to help New Haven, such as being one of New Haven's biggest employers and donating money and resources to the city. Nevertheless, many students have the perception that they shouldn't go into New Haven.
One of the earliest things we're told is to be careful of the people outside of campus. It just made me acutely aware of the fact that there's something to be wary of.
I think it starts with remembering that there's more to the city than just our campus. I guess before Yale and also like my first few weeks of Yale, there was a lot of talk about how New Haven's not a super safe city to be in. And I think that's not necessarily true. I don't think any city is necessarily safe, depending on it's about being smart in the city.
This is what led Charmain and the Yale Students for Christ organization to host a week-long event called Intersect New Haven that allows individual Yale students to see past Yale and learn about their host city.
Intersect New Haven is a program we started about 10 years ago with our college students, our Yale students. And it's, you may know, Yale is located within New Haven. And we realized so much of our Yale students stayed within just a certain part of the campus, never venturing outside and seeing more of what the city was like, and not getting close to some of kind of the big issues of things like poverty and inner city issues. And so Intersect was just a way to get people intersecting with our wonderful city of New Haven.
Intersect New Haven is an example of an attempt to join two communities that are physically together but are separate in every other sense. Yale students try to connect with people in New Haven and reach out to those in need.
But I found that New Haven has actually been very welcoming, and a lot of people that we met have been extremely welcoming, extremely kind, and I didn't feel very unsafe at any point.
Also, somewhere being dangerous doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. I think that's another distinction that I've been thinking about a lot this week, that even a place that's dangerous deserves to be loved and deserves to be cared for rather than just avoided.
From helping to cook food for the homeless, to playing with kids in public housing authorities, to talking with adults struggling to overcome addiction, or to just raking a neighbor's leaves, students found that not one day was wasted.
Yeah, I've realized how many people are hurting out there, and I've really come to know that there are like lots of good people among those who are hurting and who have so much to share and so much wisdom, and I just think that's so valuable. And it's sad to know that we are living our lives without knowing that there are things like this happening around us, but we just can't see it or don't want to go close to it.
One special meeting involved women who work with Mothers and Others for Justice, or MOFJ, an organization dedicated to helping struggling moms in the city. MOFJ members talk about everything from poverty to homelessness to food stamps. These women share their own experiences in New Haven, as they were previously struggling moms themselves, and give the students wise words of advice.
Use your privilege to produce more people to appreciate and want the privilege. Not to be against it, not to say, oh, you think you're better than me. No, I don't think I'm better than you. It's just that I've been privileged to have more, but I want to share the abundance with you, whether it be knowledge, whether it be understanding, whether it be compassion.
And so, that I hope that's one of your takeaways wherever you end up. That you need to be able to walk around an issue and see it from every side, and it is so much. It's increasingly difficult to know what the truth is.
In addition to learning about the city's current struggles, Yalees also learn about New Haven's history through listening to a lecture by Matthew Denny, a political science PhD student researching race and law.
So you'll notice here that even when it wasn't officially sanctioned by the federal government, individual actors and institutions like banks and real estate agencies made sure that Black people could only buy homes in Black neighborhoods And they couldn't get loans in those neighborhoods. And so they basically were left without the option to buy a home at all.
Yale students also took car tours to different areas of the city, to places they didn't even know existed, but were only a few miles away from them.
And seeing clear divides in socioeconomic status and race was quite eye-opening. And also just to see how close this disparity was to Yale was pretty astonishing, honestly, because, I don't know, I've heard a lot of things about New Haven coming into school, but I guess I didn't expect how much of a problem it still is today.
Yes, New Haven can be dangerous and scary, but that single perception has blocked most of the city off from Yale. There is so much more to New Haven than that. There is beauty, culture, joy, and community. Intersect New Haven was a way to let Yale students break the boundary that created a bubble around Yale.
It doesn't take much. Once there was a student who was really afraid actually to go take that one step to just initiate a conversation with somebody that you might not normally initiate a conversation with, but once our student took that one step, it was so easy and simple and a blessing actually to him.
I think this experience most importantly has reminded me of the privilege that I have in my life, and I think it's just such an important reminder that because of the position of privilege that I'm in, it should be our responsibility to help the people within the city. By choosing not to leave campus, we are essentially choosing to look away from and downright deny the struggles and issues that is faced by the people in the city.
The invisible line between Yale and most of the city has been a quiet and small example of segregation around the world. The more privileged are divided from the marginalized and under-resourced, although this boundary may not be created on purpose. But there is so much that people can learn from one another, and there are so many ways that people can learn to help and befriend others who might seem different from them. Many people are used to staying in groups that they are used to or most comfortable with. It's time to break that boundary. It's time to intersect.